Meme coins are creating millionaires every single day. If you guys don't know, Bitcoin is hitting all-time high after all-time high. And Solana is hitting new highs this cycle. And what happens is all this volume drips down into meme coins. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5-step process that helped me stay profitable and everything I learned to make multiple 6 figures this cycle alone only on meme coins. This is the same strategy that I taught my students who have been printing thousands of dollars a day. Let's run it. How to find alpha. This is a strategy that helped me make money long term in the markets. Bidding narratives that you can hold for long term. Like we said earlier, the extractive markets of just getting in and out of trades really fast, the people that can hold long term are going to outperform those people when on-chain conditions become good. So when people ask, like you guys asked, is it good to hold coins for 30 plus days and things of that nature? Yes, that's actually where I make most of the money. That's where you find alpha, where communities build, where price accumulates so you can reach those escape velocity. Just like any trading, the strategy focuses on thorough research to identify market gaps. That's all we're looking for. Inefficiencies. We seek underpriced charts backed by strong narratives, capitalizing on these inefficiencies early to maximize return. So you can't teach obsession, but this is the one thing that you need in order to make it in anything, but specifically trading. Where attention goes, money flows. The best traders, you see Cupsy, you see the Pals, you see the Profits, you see the Quants, RNGs, whoever you've seen trading has been locked in 12, 20-hour days just scanning for the past year. These are the people that you're up against, especially if you're new. There's so much lore missed out on, so many patterns that you missed out on. So if you can't even do that minimum, you're already at a huge disadvantage. And by scanning, I mean diligently doing research, looking for bottoms, feeling out communities on Twitter, researching people, key opinion leaders, that's KOLs, looking for who to follow, understanding why people hold certain significance, whose name or viewpoints hold certain weights. Like all of these things matter when it comes to meme coins, and you have to be locked in, researching, learning every single day. Study more than you trade. And even when you're trading, you're researching more than you're actually taking bids. Guys, when I was first trading, I would study every single coin. Even though I'd already be like in a position and have no money left for other positions, I would still be scanning and finding every single thing that I thought that can run. And I'll just pretend that I put in money and then see how far it could go. Oh, look, I would have got a 5x. I would have made 500 off this trade. I would have made $1,000 if I, had this trade. And I would do that for every single scan that caught my eye and understand why it ran, why it died, why it rugged, all the way to the on-chain literacy, everything that I needed to know. I was obsessed with it though. So it was deeper than money because I was already in positions, but I was so obsessed with the craft that that's what the money follows. You don't make money and then get good. You got to get good and then make money, right? So you have to enjoy this because scanning for 10 hours a day focused and being obsessed for months is something that is not easy to do. You have to genuinely be obsessed and know why you're doing this. For me, I got to take care of my family. I already done so much for my family. I could never fall off. Once you get your mom a house and you're taking care of things and you got the car and you got the family and like you can't untake care of them. Like they have, like that's a never ending thing. And I believe a man who doesn't take care of his family can't be blessed. So for me, it's for my family. That's my why. It's for my family. Even before I had kids and a girl and like the whole thing, like it wasn't even for me. It was for my mom. I grew up with a single mom, 4 siblings in the household. I'm the oldest. I seen my mom struggle. I remember times where we used to clean people's houses, like rich neighborhood houses, because we was in a project just to make ends meet, to pay the bills, me and my mom. And I seen how hard it was with her working a full-time job and extra jobs, and the whole thing was just crazy. And I remember trying to get into college so that I can make a way for my family. It's the only way we knew. Nobody in my family ever made more than 6 figures a year, even. Mind you, multiple 6 figures a year. So for me, it was just like college was the only way. So I was going to do that and get a $50K a year job. I tried computer science. That was like a lot of work. So I went into like film. That's why I like to do the creative stuff. That's why I'm so excited about content all the time. I guess it worked out in some indirect way. It wasn't for entrepreneurship at first. It was literally to get a job in Connecticut, like an ESPN camera guy, or like work in the production, somehow make $50K a year. That was my goal. You know how many $50K trades I've done made already? I shortly realized that wasn't the way. And that became my why. I seen everybody working for somebody else. And for me, it wasn't really just the money though. I didn't want to get rich for the sake of getting rich, like for material thing. I just knew that with 50K, 60K a year, I saw every single person graduating, barely getting a job in their field, trying to pay off debt like 10, 20 years later. I was just like, bro, like I'm doing this to take care of my family. Everybody I see graduating can't even take care of themselves. So I'm just like, nah, like for me, it was way deeper than just money thing. It was like, if I'm going to take care of my family and get my mom a house one day and all the things I was dreaming about, travel around the world, all of these things, I have to find a different way. And for me, I got obsessed with trading. I got obsessed with crypto. And then when memes came around, I got obsessed with memes. So it has to be something deep that drives you every single day. What keeps you up at night? Because that's the thing that's going to push you. And it can't just be for $1 because again, you have to understand yourself, your edge, your emotions, the culture behind trading. All of these things is so much deeper than just making a profit. Obviously the end goal is making a profit, but this is what's important. Being obsessed, super obsessed. I was so obsessed with just making it work for that. And these dreams became realized shortly after. I ended up dropping out of school, not telling my mom. I failed my way out because I was going to school, going to the library to fucking learn trading every single day. And I didn't tell my mom. And then I made a PowerPoint presentation and showed her like YouTube videos and stuff like that of why I felt like dropping out was a good idea. Mind you, I already failed out. So she ended up believing in me and supporting me. But thank God, because it was like either way, it was already done. And for me, that was why I was so obsessed, because there was no other way. I was burning the boats. I didn't want a plan B. I didn't want a degree. I was like, I'm never going to work a job a day in my life. And I never did. A few years later, got my mom the house, traveled over 30 plus countries, dream car, drove every supercar you guys can imagine. Like it's been crazy. All right. But it started with obsession, and the grind comes first. Always. Jeff Bezos said, entrepreneurs must be willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time. I changed it to traders because obviously we're traders. I think it's the same thing though. You got to be willing to be misunderstood. A lot of people didn't believe in trading. Most people lose, but most people lose in everything. There's a pyramid to life. Most people, like, you're either a winner or you're a loser. You got to be obsessed. There's no real in between. I made a YouTube this year and already in the top 1% of YouTube subscribers, YouTube monetized or whatever the fuck, right? 99% of people don't make $1 off it. And I'm not saying this to brag, or I'm not like, I hope that, like, what I'm trying to say is this. Anything that I've ever done, I'd make sure I'm in the top 1% because I'm just obsessed with being great and taking care of people and giving my best effort. Even fucking Pokemon. I trade Pokemon trading card game Pocket. I'm literally like master ball level already. I think only like less than 5% of people ever hit that, right? There's a pyramid to life. You're either at the top or you're not. In order to get there, you have to understand that most people lose in anything. Same thing with these markets, Memecoin, right? If you're profitable, you're literally already in the top 5%. Most people are going to lose and keep losing and rage quit and say it's not possible. People around you are not going to understand your vision. People around you are not going to understand why you're taking so much time to learn this stuff. It's stupid. My girl still says, why are you on TikTok? Why are you on X? You're always on your phone, blah, 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 blah. Bro, it's because I'm obsessed. I'm studying better trade. I'm studying other narratives all the time. I'm scanning the markets all the time. You guys know, because every time we're scanning in VCs, every time we talking, there's very little narratives that get past me. I'm watching everything all the time because I'm obsessed like that. And nobody can tell me to chill when it comes to my craft, because that's how you become the best. Even if they don't understand, because they won't understand. They might not ever understand, because even now I'm successful with this shit. I can prove it. And everybody's proud of me that was doubting me. But even still, every once in a while, they're like, put down the phone, or, yo, bro, like, just relax. We could just go party. And it's like, nah, bro. I'm obsessed, okay? This is a thing that you can't teach. You want to reach a flow state. Flow state is what gives you that obsession the best. And I've talked about this before. The difficulty and the skills, somewhere in between, is where you'll find a flow state. This is important. If you're new, for example, this is hypothetical, because the type of trading that I'm going to show you with my edge in this training is a little bit more nuanced than just 0.5 SOL a day. But just for hypothetical, so you can understand what I'm trying to say here, let's say you do have a 20 SOL port. Half a SOL a day is a great achievable goal. A lot of people are aiming 10 SOL, 20 SOL. I want to double my port this week. How do I make 50 SOL this week out of 20? You know, that's cool and everything, but that's too big of a goal for your skill level, and you're going to be anxious. It's going to feel too hard, and you're going to be very emotional in your trading, in your craft. That's not good. This is where you lose. you start to lose. In this area, too easy, maybe you're aiming for 0.1 SOL a day with a 20 SOL port. And maybe it's too easy for you. Maybe your skill set's a little bit advanced for that. You're going to get bored. You're going to think it's not worth it. It's not enough money. Like, you need more difficulty for your skill level. You need to increase the challenge in order to have fun with it. So in that case, you know, let's say half a SOL is easy or achievable for you, then you could do 1 SOL a day. With a 20 SOL port, that's 5% of your port. Even bidding 5 to 10% of your port, depending on the alpha. If you get into a trade, you 2-3x with just 5% of a 20 SOL port, you're good for the day. If you consistently do that, let's say for a month, you're up over 15 SOL for the month. You're up almost double your port. 20 SOL in 1 month is about $3,000 right now. You're already making more than the average person. The problem is a lot of people make it way too difficult for themselves in the beginning because they're comparing themselves to crypto Twitter. They're comparing themselves to these streamers. They're comparing themselves to a LARP who says he turned 1 SOL into 1,000 SOL in a week or whatever. And it's just like, that's not you though. Even if that is true, that person more than likely has been locked in since the very beginning. This probably isn't even their first cycle. It's very different. You want to reach a flow state that's in tune with you and your goals. Even just half a SOL a day on a 20 SOL port, you're not risking anything crazy and you're up over 3 bands for the month. A lot of people can't even see that far ahead. You're only thinking about right now. You need this runner right now. You need that 20x right now. And this is why you lose, and this is why you're trash at trading. Because if you slow it down and you aren't so greedy and emotional, and you can find a flow state which isn't too difficult but isn't too easy, half a SOL a day in this example I think is a good target. You slowly do that over a month, 2 months, then you can increase. If once that's getting too easy for you, of course, increase it, switch it up. 1 SOL a day, 2 SOL a day, it's all relative. At the end of the day, it's the same game, it's the same edge. The only thing that changes is the amount of profit, and that's a beautiful thing. It's all relative. So it's always going to be the same edge. The next thing, scanning. Somebody asked me today, how do you spot a runner? What's your process? What does that look like? I'll say this. I was thinking about it and I was like, how do I scan? This is a little bit different than what most people teach. Even when I teach platforms and Axiom and things of that nature, which is very important. But I was thinking about it. I was like, how did I find my last few alphas actually? Right? Because yesterday, the call that I called, the Tom call, which 3x so far, I actually found that on Pulse. But let's say detective, what I found last week, 30x. How did I find that? On X. Most of the stuff that I find that's mega viral before anybody else catches on, I usually see it on X and even TikTok. Just viral stuff that I'm just looking like, yo, did this get tokenized? There's flavor to day coins, but there's also stuff that's like huge communities just brewing underneath that's just about to take off. So what does that look like? How do I find alpha? Is where all the alpha is. I'm telling you right now, I follow all the right people. So the first thing I would say for you guys, shameless plug right here, go ahead and follow me, King Montilla. I haven't been so active on X, but I'm active on X because I don't follow many people, but I follow the right people. I don't follow people outside of trading. I only follow people who are going to have alpha. The people that we track also on Twitter tracker, stuff like that. But here is more people that have alpha, key opinion leaders, key influencers, not just KOL fags, like actual people who give value more than just like people shilling, mid-tier memes, because there's different levels to that shit and a lot of it is just noise. You see here right now, you see Crow, I've seen so much alpha from Crow. He's a great trader. You go to Sachs, great trader. You see, this is one that I called recently, that we've been looking at actually in Inner Circle. This is like the Bubbles, Jupiter meta. There's so much alpha on X, and then just even things that go viral every single day. Like for example, a lot of times you could click on a viral post and you go under it and you'll see like this, for example, the vice president. Puiz went crazy. It was like the same type of thing, editing the vice president with different faces. Let's say we started seeing this a lot under people's people's posts, right? As a meme. This is something I'm looking for to get tokenized. So pretend this is detective, for example, the suspicious surprise motherfucker guy. That guy, you guys all seen it. I know you guys all seen it. Ibiza Final Boss, that's a good one. I've seen that. That's actually one of the ones I'm talking about. I got sidelined on because I took a position elsewhere, but it's fine. The surprise motherfucker meme, this guy was under every single person. I've seen it on TikTok. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it on Instagram. And then I just didn't see it tokenized anywhere. And that was alpha. You see it all over Twitter, and it isn't running as a tokenized meme. Twitter's always late. The average person is always late. And when you're obsessed, like I'm telling you, you're always doing research, you're always scanning, you're always looking for the next alpha play, you're always going to be early. You're going to spot those inefficiencies before everybody else. So I was seeing that meme every single place. This one's the funniest one. It's like you're just suspicious of somebody, but you just can't prove it. And everybody's putting that every single where. I know Elon Musk is in tune with entire meme coin culture. I just can't prove it. All right, so I'm seeing it every single where, and I was just looking. I just didn't know what it would be called. And ironically, I saw somebody talking about it under a post on Twitter. I looked it up on Dex Screener. This is the whole process, family. I just want to show you from beginning to end. This is what you do. I looked up the CA. This is where I called it, right? At 150K. This is where I called it publicly, around 300K. At 150K, I sent it in Rage Pro. I literally sent it before every single KOL was in it. Every single, like, anything. As soon as we got in, we was already up 2x. Then it played around, came back near our entry. Within the same week, everybody else caught on. 5 mil runner, 30x play, GG's. And in this case, I just saw something that was so viral, but it was underpriced. That's all you're looking for. This was an underpriced. I'm just like, bro, this deserves millions. And I said this publicly, right? I said this on the last stream. I said this in Rage Pro. I said, look, anything under $1 million, because everybody was asking, is it still a good time? Still a good time? I said, this meme shouldn't be anywhere near under $1 million. Anything under $1 million is free. And GG's, it was. What was it that gave me conviction? One, I seen it everywhere. Two, I knew traders knew about it because even in trading culture, we all use this. Three, normies use it all the time as well. And that's even bigger than traders when it comes to attention economy. What are the normies talking about? That's what sent Chill Guy. That's what sent Peanut. That's what sent the biggest trades. And that's basically it. After that, at a time like now where you see it die down, this is what you call a bottomed out chart, right? Even right now may be a great entry because it's right back to where we originally called it, almost where I originally called it publicly, down more in this level. I'll say once it comes down closer to 300K, bro, take another stab at it. And what are you looking for? Is the community still active? Okay, 457 members. They have the main page, sending memes, and you just want to make sure that is active and things of that nature. Maybe it could have been a one and done trade. We made a lot of money off it anyways, but that's basically the process. X is where you find the alpha, and then you'll just scroll. You find these people that give alpha consistently, and some people aren't. Like, there's always drama. Look, this guy's going back and forth with other KOLs. Like, I'm not really into all of that. I don't give a rat's ass about none of that. Gake's a pretty good trader. You see what he's talking about, what he's bidding. Now here's another tip I'll give you guys. When a trader puts out a call online, remember, they already have a position and you're their exit liquidity for the most part. Always wait for a perfect entry for you according to your edge, because that's one thing for me. Even when I see something I like from somebody else, usually I find trades pretty early before a lot of traders, because when you're actively scanning all day, you're going to be early a lot. But every once in a while, I'll see somebody just pushing something that's clearly viral, clearly makes sense, strong narrative, and I like it, and I want to get into the trade. I'll always wait for it to hit my entry first. Like, so for example, what does that mean? And by entry, I mean like a strong dip, a strong bottom. Like, I won't get in on the hype, because after they call it, their followers are getting in, you know, a bunch of randoms getting in, Jeets get in, that are just gonna go in for a 2x or whatever the case is. I get in after they get out. Does that make sense? You don't want to be anybody's exit liquidity. You have to know the game. Okay, look at Bao running up. I've been telling you guys about Bao bottoms. I'm still positioned, by the way, and it's running up today. So everybody should be in profit right now. Let's see somebody that's shilling something. Let's say somebody's calling Corey, right? And you see a bit earlier. Obviously, this is a way more established coin now, but let's just pretend for a moment. Let's pretend we're back here, and there's a lot of hype. Somebody calls Corey, it goes up to 20 mil. What I will do is I would wait for a strong dip. You see this level of support, whatever, I would wait for a really strong dip before getting in. I'm not going to top blast. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Wait for it to drop 50-60% before you go in to any trade. You know, a lot of times it is going to be early, so it might not be a lot of technicals to go over. So literally 50-60%. This is probably more likely where somebody called it. Let's say, you know, it came in, it ran up, everybody's calling it up here. Like, what you'll do is just wait for it to go back down to like previous level of support or resistance, because previous level of resistance is now support, and you'll just get in down here. A lot of people get in up here, then it comes back down, they get shaken out, their exit liquidity, blah, blah, blah. No, you come in here and I'll wait for the second bounce or third bounce, boom, position myself. And that's why I say 5% is pretty good, because you could put in 5% now, right, on the first bounce. And then let's say it bounces again a little bit on the edge. Now you can put, and you still have more conviction, because the more time that you have to look at a trade and see how it's playing out, watch the community, do research, the more conviction you can build. That takes time. And sometimes it might be a little bit higher. Maybe it came up here, but now you see that I respected this level, community strong, everything, checks all the boxes, and then you put in your other 5%. That's fine too. You get in with a strong bid, and then boom, you're up 3. And if you really want to hold and build on every single other bounce, look how many times it hit this level before it took off. Those are the things that you want to look for. So that's a good tip and advice for everybody who's looking at other people's trades. Some people will actually give you good technical analysis on a chart or entries and stuff like that. Those are harder to find. KOLs usually just throw stuff out. It's all hype. It's all attention. You have to understand that. But you are responsible for your returns in this market. You are responsible for your risk to reward levels. If you're getting into a high risk trade, top blasting, and you don't even have a full idea of your setup, like, that's your fault. That's not the KOL's fault. You didn't do due diligence. You don't understand you don't understand those things. Like, it's just a way to find alpha and scan. And then on Twitter, you could compartmentalize different people, right? I got this from other traders too, where they have like low caps, dust revive, like different type of, some I made myself, some I like other people's, what do you call it? I don't even know what you call these, like batches of followers that you can click. So, and all these people are always talking about different trades. So these are goats. These are just people that are really good. Look, Shadow's here. He's been calling Troll all year. So when Troll bottomed out, I've been screaming and begging you guys to buy Troll and just hold. Up 20x, baby, from where we've been calling it, right? When it bottomed out around 12 mil. Boom. And then there's just a whole bunch of other people here that are good. You got Crow here, whatever, and you can make your list accordingly. All right, this is all of crypto Twitter. Okay, people who tend to do like low cap stuff, things of that nature, you can do that as you please. That's a good tip and advice as well. Twitter is where you find most of the alpha. Being chronically online, knowing memes, watching just stupid shit like this sometimes is actually worth it. Somebody just talked about Boss. Boss is like the stupidest thing, but it's like so retardedly funny and is becoming a huge meme. Could have easily caught X's on Boss. Past few days has been mega viral. That was an easy one to kind of front run. Where's the next thing? Axiom Pro Pulse Tab. Now, this is where you keep a closer temperature to the trenches. As you guys know, everything I teach is on Axiom. I've seen Nova. I've seen Padre. Padre's doing really good with updates, but nothing comes close to Axiom's platform when it comes to trenching. Okay, the fills are crazy. They're just on a way different level. If you aren't on Axiom, you can get started with the link that I provide for you guys, or just use the code RAGE. You'll get 10% off fees and a higher reward status when you start. Now, when you're on Axiom, the first thing that you want to check, as you see here, is you want to know the meta. What is the meta? The meta is the main narrative. What is the main narrative right now? Troll just outperformed Pump Fund, right? And these are a few things that I always check to understand the meta. Right now, lately, there's a launchpad war in meme coins. There's Pump Fund, which is the OG launchpad of meme coins. This was the first launchpad to launch meme coins for basically free, fair launch, no insiders and stuff like that. Now there's obviously creative ways to bundle and do all of those things, but compared to before, it was way worse. People would suck liquidity right from under you. Pump Fund lacks the liquidity just upon launch into migration. This was the first launch pad with this model that just completely took off. Pump Fund. Now, what happened after that? Bonk made a launch pad. Jupiter made a launch. There's been like 20 new launch pads just in the past month. Last week, I gave you guys filters. This week, I'm gonna give you guys an update on those filters. There's already an update. So I switched it back to normal, new pairs, final stretch, migrated, just so people don't get confused. What you want to have now is Bags. Bags is a new platform that became popular. There's been so many cooks on Bags. We've been trenching last week, and it's basically a platform that automatically like sends money to the Twitter accounts of the people that created it. So there's been cool metas like cool metas that built around it. People donating to Gaza, Mr. Beast water thing, and a few other things like that. It's just been running up. Bonk you want to keep because Bonk is still very important. Jupiter Studio is still very important. I think they're gonna have their moment relatively soon. Pump came in with a fury this week and dethroned Bonk. Bonk has been majority of the market share for the past month or so out of nowhere, while Pump was always number one. So that was crazy for the trenches. Now Pump just regained its status as number one, which is crazy, right? So add bags, make sure you have Pump, Bonk, Jupiter Studio. Okay, those are the most important ones as of right now. Believe, there's been nothing happening on Believe, but if that ever changes, you'll be the first to know. But now these I keep relatively the same. Okay, maximum age, I keep it at 5 minutes right now because market's been hot. Holders, minimum 15, and then nothing on metrics for new pairs. Final stretch, add bags, 15K volume, 15K minimum market cap. That's all you got to worry about. And actually on audit, 25-minute max on the age. Migrate it. Make sure you have bags. I have bags on already on migrated. The only thing that I have is 200 minimum holders and 75K minimum market cap. Apply that. That's all you really need to know for now. Don't trade on new pairs. Don't trade even on final stretch, especially if you're new. Just look at migrated, and anything that holds up over 100, 150, 200K, do due diligence on every single one. This is how you do your due diligence and keep a close temperature on the market and close temperature on metas. Now on Axiom, down here, you have the lighthouse, and it shows you which platform is running the most. So you can see Pump Fund tokens is where the most volume is right now. How high volume is, it shows you plus 30%, plus 77% total trades, like in the past day, the stats, and it just tells you by protocol, each and every protocol. So Pump Fund 380 mil, which is like double what Bonk is doing right now. And then bags is the third runner up. So those are the three things you're probably going to see some cooks on. Okay, so that's the first thing you do when you turn on your computer. You look at what's migrated, what ran up and held over 1 million market cap. Those are the things that you want to pay attention to. You see Tom, you want to know why. You see the laughing phase, excited phase. You want to know why. You want to understand it. Bear, Bonk, airdrop. Like, you just do your due diligence on every single one. Okay, right now, like I was saying before, Pump is the meta. So you see everything's green, everything's Pump. The reason why they're green, the red ones are Bonk, right? And you could adjust this all in your settings. Everything is getting created on Pump Fund again. And I'll show you another thing. If you go on Jupiter's website, and you go to launch pads, you can see which launch pads have the most market share. And you can see Pump Fund is ahead again by a lot. It's Pump 62% of market share, Let's Bonk 26, and then Bags holding 5%, and then Jupiter Studio lagging over there in the background. That's how you see it. This could give you an idea of what metas are and what to pay attention to. Right? Obviously in Axiom you see it right there, just in a bird's eye view, but that's just more specific as well. I like to look at that sometimes before I start trenching, know what the meta is, know what the temperature is. Very important. You understand the meta. That's how you understand the on-chain volume, and then you're gonna scan the migrated pairs. See what's holding up, and you want to know why it's holding up. Even if you're not getting into every single trade, it doesn't matter. That's where the obsession comes in. It can't just be about making money, making profits on every single thing. You're not going to catch them all, but you have to understand them all, if that makes sense. That's what's important. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. And then deck screeners, where you find trending coins, and this is where you keep like a better watch list, right? Because Axiom's only going to show you, this is only for the past day. This is only from the past day. When you go on Deck Screener, you see what's been trending of all time. Anything that was launched months ago, where's it trending at? And then you can see what's bottomed out, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And you can build a fire watch list here. Usually once it's trending, I start looking at it and I look for entries after. So for example, Cupsy. This is a really good play. Why? Because this is the mascot. If you guys don't know, the pill, the Pump Fund pill, there's a doll of it. And they named it Cupsy after Pump Fund's #1 trader. And Pump Fund themselves have adopted that name and confirmed it. Now, what does that mean? This trade was last year, this token got deployed. Why does that make sense now? Well, because I told you guys, Pump Fund finally took the throne back. They're king again right now. This is where attention is right now. At the end of the day, we're in an attention economy. So you want to do that type of research. You want to look at the Twitter and understand, okay, it has, you know, a decent amount of members, a couple hundred members, but the followers is really high. Really active community, cooking, art, you know, funny stuff, animations. They're going hard. Pump Fund has pushed them too indirectly. You've seen Pump Fund dropped an ad earlier. If you guys didn't see the ad, what are you even doing? You're not serious about trading. Pump Fund changed their banner to all the top tokens. Cupsy's obviously in the banner. If you guys didn't notice that, what are you even doing? You're sleeping. You're not serious. You have to stay in tune with the markets. Now, boom, or not the markets, the culture in this sense, right? Because the markets is following the culture. That's why Cupsy's running up right now. And this is one I had my eye on, and I just didn't think it happened this fast. So now, okay, cool, we're sidelined. But what do you do when you're on Deck Screener and you see something running? You don't top blast. That'd be very foolish. you go on a higher time frame and you look for entries. Where did it hold previously? It still hasn't even passed all-time highs, so there's still a lot of potential on a trade like this. So one, it either goes without you, or two, you might just be able to get an entry, and that's fine. My strategy, I don't force trades. I'm not going to top blast or anything, but I will look in this area. This is a strong level of support and resistance. I would like to see it come back down into this area and bounce and accumulate and then pump back up. It'd be very foolish to get in because of the hype, because as you can see, the hype already happened, right? I don't want to end up exit liquidity. Don't get me wrong. This is a coin that's very strong, especially with the meta right now. Troll hitting 200 million. It flipped useless, which is Bonk's biggest coin. Troll flipped useless. And then what? Pump Fund is the main character right now. That's where attention is. So it's only right that Pump Fund's mascot can hit. I think it's still pretty underpriced. I think 10 million is a good area for it to be. I think it has to pass its previous all-time highs. Am I going to get in now at this price? It's against my rules, so I'm going to stay disciplined. Even though I know, the potential of it hitting this is nearly certain, but I'm just not going to disrespect my rules because that's what keeps me profitable. So I would wait, and I'm either sidelined or, maybe tomorrow you guys see how squirrel brain this market is, especially meme coins. Today is Pump Fund, tomorrow it's fuck Pump Fund, it might just be Jupiter, it might just be whatever the hell, right? Maybe Bitcoin takes a 10% dip and everybody's screaming it's over. Like random stuff happens all the time. We're more than likely to get the entry we want than top blasting. That's what I'm looking for when I'm on Deck Screener. This is what I'm doing. I'm looking for potential. It doesn't mean I'm getting in right away, but I'll add it to a watch list. You could create as many watch lists as you want. I have my main watch list, right? But then I have side one, right? ICM meta, AI memes. This one's outdated like crazy. Just keep buying and holding. Main list, old memes, like different things that I'm just looking at. I like Deck Screener because you could compartmentalize it like that. Just a little bit better and chart and keep up with it. To me, a little bit better than Axiom. Axiom is where I trade. Deck Screener is where I chart and study. That's what you want to make sure you do when you're scanning. That's my process. And obviously, Rage. People in Rage have been sending nothing but straight alpha. It's up to you to do your due diligence though. Nobody's gonna hand feed you or tell you when to get in, how much. I mean, we will if you ask, but half the time people don't even ask. They just just top blast, do stupid shit, just get in at a random point, no plan, no setup, no due diligence, and pray. And then they rage quit later. Like, bro, I don't feel sorry for those people. I genuinely don't, because that's not the group that I'm trying to build. They can see the door. I genuinely don't care. Right? We've been building a healthy group of straight killers, people who can think for themselves, people who can find entries, know their risk to reward. But for the most part, you're going to find fire scans in Rage. X is where you're going to find things go viral. Deck Screener is where you keep a watch list and chart. That's what I do. And then Rage is where you're going to have people putting out a full-on thesis on why something would run and answer your questions behind it. It just makes it a lot easier, more insight and all of these things. So all in all, you're going to bid low risk, high reward plays. You're looking for underpriced, strong narratives. That's what you're doing when you're scanning. Next thing, sitting on your hands, because this is the hard part. When it comes to spotting narratives, what you want to do, you reflect on what you're observing that others might be missing, things they haven't yet noticed. That's where you take your position and let your play unfold. If you turn out wrong, reassess your perspective. You likely misread the situation or overestimated the opportunity's potential. That's where you adjust your strategy and keep moving forward. What do I mean when I say reflect on what you're observing that others might be missing? That's literally the definition of an inefficiency. I know these are like big trading words that even me, I've been in the space so long that it's just natural, but like I used to not know what the hell none of this shit meant. But it's basic stuff, bro. Inefficiency is just a gap in the market. Something that you see first that you know is worth millions, but is sitting at a couple 100K. Detective, for example. Or I'll give you another example because what was another trade that we've been so vocal about? Uranus. And I want to bring this up because it's still at a level that I really, really like. You should bid Uranus here if you haven't made a position yet. And hold. If you're able to hold for weeks until it plays out. Because it's not if for me, it's when. That's what happens when you build enough conviction. But sadly, if you're not in Rage Pro, sadly, for those on the outside who waited for the YouTube videos, who waited for your favorite KOL to call it, because we were in this before all your favorite KOLs, 6 million is where we were talking about this. We bid here, we bid here, we bid here. Now, What was the inefficiency here? What was the process like when I saw Uranus? I seen Uranus on Pulse when it first dropped at 3 million. If you're in the inner circle, I talked about it. I remember that day. I said, I love this ticker. If anything is going to run, I'll try to find a recording for you guys because it's literally like, I feel like a prophet the way this thing played out in retrospect. But at 3 million, I said, because there was Jupiter and there was like a Pupiter. They were trying to run Pupiter. I said, if anything on Jupiter is going to run, it's going to be Uranus. Because this is an age-old meme. It's universal. The memetic value of it is just super high. Normies understand it like this. And it's on meta with what Jupiter is. You know, the planets and like, it's like a triple entendre. So I'm like, this is beautiful, bro. And I remember I told you guys in the inner circle, I was like, yo, bro, I'm not going to bid because I remember it was taking off. It took off here. I saw it at 3 mil, but it was already like running. At 3 mil when I saw it though, like around, I forgot what I saw at 3 mil, it ran up here and I was waiting for it to come back in this area, in this zone when it came up, and it never came back down. It just kept running up and I was so sad, but still something to watch. I kept it in my watch list. Okay. I was watching it on Deck Screener and I said, look, when it hits this order block down here, this is a level of support. There's a nice order block, huge imbalance in the market that I knew it had to come back and touch, right? Because there was a lot of volume on this trade. I knew that it had to pay its respect from swing low to swing high on fibs, swing low to swing high. You can see a retracement level, 78.6. Everything lined up to this area. Technicals come second to attention. You got to understand the catalyst and the narrative first. What are you observing that others might be missing? Things that they haven't noticed. That's where you take your position and let your play unfold. I said, bro, this was already a 25 mil coin damn near. That's number one. So it's already on sale. Number two, it's the biggest coin on Jupiter. Number three, Jupiter is one of the biggest platforms in the Solana space. And this is where knowledge comes in as well, because I know Jupiter. I've received Jupiter airdrops. They gave in billions of dollars in airdrops. Meow, the owner of Jupiter, one of the main faces of Jupiter, very active and has a lot of pull in the crypto space. So I was like, bro, this is gonna hold as the biggest coin because I see nothing else running up without this running up first. It was just obvious. We took bids and we accumulated. And then what were we calling? We said Meow's gonna talk about it. Jupiter's gonna position themselves with this coin as a main launch pad, and nothing else runs without it. So that already gives me a full conviction, and that also what gives me a plan, because where can I set my targets for a coin like this? I told you guys from the beginning, first take profit is 50 mil. And for those of you that wanted to be conservative, I said just take profit at the previous high, because that was already a 3x from our entry. But other than that, I told you guys 50 mil minimum, and we blew past that. And then this is easily still 100 mil token. Why? Because you understand narratives. Look at what happened with Trolls Runner. Look at what happened with Useless Runner. History repeats itself. These are patterns that come up over and over, and that's what can give you an idea of a ceiling for another coin that's similar to another narrative. I hope that makes sense. So that's what gives me the idea of 100 mil minimum, because I think once it breaks that psychological barrier, it can go way higher. Similar to Troll, similar to Useless. This is one of those plays. Obviously, we could be wrong about any trade, but you do the most you can, the most due diligence, you form the most bulletproof thesis you can. You do that enough times, how can you lose in the long term anyway? Because losing is a part of the game. But like, okay, every once in a while you're wrong, but if you're wrong that much, do something else, bro. Like, there's something wrong. Because if you do that much due diligence, you're bidding lows and you're following this edge that I'm showing you, how can you lose? So you got to let it play out. But another thing is technicals too. Technicals could always give you an idea. Just on technicals, from this swing high to swing low, it shows you around here 114 is a good take profit level. That's a good way to use Fibonacci as well. That shows you a good take profit level, other than the previous level of resistance here. Even if you get in here 35 mil, you can still come in for a 2x if you want. But I have a lot of conviction. By building a strong thesis and spotting a strong inefficiency like that, what did that give us? It gave all of us a 10x. More than a 10x, 15x. Okay, we all got 10x. We're all eating off of Uranus. Pause. So that's what you want to think about when you're doing your due diligence. That's how I scan. That's literally all I do. And it is nuance. It is a lot of things coming together, but it's important. And if you do turn out wrong, like I said, reassess your perspective. Maybe you were just overestimating the opportunity's potential, and you got to work on that. Study, adjust, quick, and then move on. But you keep practicing and you're gonna master spotting lagging runners. That's what I got good at. I got good at being able to see attention where attention is going to be before it's there. I just got good at it for doing it for so long. And usually you're early, like the wallet tracking, all that's cool when you're a beginner, but for the most part, like I track all the wallets and stuff and I do look at it, but I'm usually in before a lot of these traders anyway. So it's just like, that's the goal. When you think for yourself, that's what happens. You're just good at it yourself and you don't have to wait on nobody else for conviction or anything like that. The simplest and most frequent opportunities aren't going to be events like an Elon tweet or a Trump event. It's most likely going to be delayed plays that you identify before others. And what I mean by that is like those tweets tend to be very explosive in the moment, runner of the day coins. It gets a lot of hype. Everybody's buying it up, and then it just dies. We've all seen those type of coins. Those are hyped Twitter plays, things of that nature, and it's cool, but it's usually going to be something that's really building some type of community, some type of narrative, some type of virality underneath that you spot before everybody else. Those are going to be the most rewarding, not the quick hyped up like bullshit. Again, if you play those and you scalp those, cool, amazing, but those people aren't rallying behind a random tweet and taking that shit to billions. You know, there has to be a strong narrative behind it. The key to recognizing what you guys refer to as narratives lie in mastering the mindset. Remember, history repeats, these patterns reemerge, and you're going to notice those things. You're going to notice what ticks that CT tends to chase after. CT as in crypto Twitter. Or you're going to notice the things that they go for, and you're going to be able to front run a lot of shit. Again, it's an attention economy. This built intuition is on attention economy, and you refine it relentlessly. That's literally chronically being online, perpetually online all the time. You're just perpetually online. Learning, not just like brain rot, but just for an edge, just for a reason. You understand? You're learning. You're looking at who to follow, why things happen, understanding everything. And then when you sense a unique opportunity has popped up. So the first thing, when you see something that catches your eye, say you're scanning right now, something catches your eyes for a reason. One, you want to understand what other people are going to think about it. Then assess what others may think about it later and estimate its potential to attract attention moving forward, right? So you're like a professional researcher. You're just like a speculative attention economist, right? We'll call it that. That's the new name for meme coin traders. And then that's how you create a clear mental image and know what you're getting into beforehand. This is how you set up your whole play before you're even in the play. If you don't have a full setup game plan of the play before you're in the play, you shouldn't be in the play. You're rushing yourself and you're just not that skilled yet. If you feel FOMO, you feel too anxious and you can't click buy or you're getting scared or whatever the case, it's a skill issue. You need to build more conviction. You need to take it slower. Just go higher market cap plays, wait for your entries, then enter. But if you get in anything like on Pulse, for example, flavor of the day coins, you got to be fast. You got to do this whole thing within a minute, right? And it doesn't usually take that long to do some research, but if you're new, a lot of things won't click right away. So you have to, take it slower in the beginning. Again, this is where attention is now. Said token that you find interesting. Now, this is where it will go if it spreads to Twitter, if it spreads to KOLs, the right people start aping it, people start talking about it, and then this is where it will potentially peak if it does, like we said, what Useless did, what this does, what, you compare it to other ceilings, and that's how you'll gain an idea of how long to hold a trade. And then when you're unable to foresee any other catalyst, that's where it's just gonna die down. There's no community, no activity, like nothing there, then it's just gonna die down. Hopefully you already took your position or took your profit. Now, once you develop your solid plan, set your position size wisely, guys. What you want to do is you want to aim for an amount where a successful trade feels meaningful or rewarding, but a loss doesn't hit your portfolio too hard. Then you stay patient and let the results play out. Don't cheat on your play if you had full conviction in the beginning. Like, don't cheat unless it's like literal fake news or you missed something very important or something like that. But if you had a bulletproof thesis and you believe in what you're doing and you know it's going to play out, sometimes you might just be too early. That happens to me a lot. I end up having to hold trades for more than weeks because I was just way too early. But I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong, family. If you watch The Big Short, that's how I feel sometimes. Just too early, never wrong. But if you are, reassess, understand why you was wrong, and move on. And if you're right, well played, because now you're seeing inefficiencies and lagging runners way before the average person, and that's the whole name of the game. That's the game of meme coins. So, community. And I kind of already went over this in the last point, but don't trade alone, especially if you're already late to the game. If you start in 2025, you don't know who Meow is, Look at this post. There's another example. Every week I find an example like this randomly. If you can't name every single narrative right here, these are all the top pump fund tokens right now. If you can't name every single token, the full narrative, why it ran, what the community is like, then you're way behind, bro. Some of these came out last year. This Michi's from last year, this little cat is a cute little cat. The community was retarded. Okay, this was a crazy play. This might be bottomed out. Now it's getting some attention. Something, hint, alpha. Something maybe you should look at. Okay, maybe not now. It's a lot of hype, but boom. If you don't know every single coin just by the top of your head right now, you especially need to be in a community. You need to catch up. You need to study. You need to lock in. Cupsy, Trencher, Unstable Coin, House Coin, Mini, Neat, Troll, Fwog, Cat with Mask, House Coin, Monkey, Salary Coin, right? And then there's a bunch more. If you don't know these off the top of your head, and I can probably give you right now a general price that they're all at, but I'm not here to flex. What I'm trying to say though is that's the level of obsession you need to have in order to make it in this game. You need to know the lore. You need to know the culture. And if you don't, you're not going to make it. Sadly, you're not going to make it. That's why community is important, because the meta is always changing. Patterns reemerge, tokens reemerge, and there's always a catalyst why. And you can front run this if you're around and you're always studying, you're always in tune with the markets for a long period of time. This is the most squirrel-brained, fast-paced market in the world. You have to be fast and on top of it. So the more eyes, the better. The more insights, the better. In Rage Pro, like I said, we built something beautiful. But it's on you to network. It's on you to add value, and it's on you to be useful. You know, the best traders in the group are the people who network the most. The best traders in the group are the people who ask questions, who actually give theses, who try, who give some type of effort, and not in here just looking for a scan. Oh, this group sucks because they top blasted, you know, a random scan or whatever, you know, like it's just like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, you're responsible for your trading journey. Nobody else. No group in the world is going to get you rich. The reason I created this group is because I never found a group as helpful as this. We're all helping each other. We're all learning from each other. You're going to get a lot more research plays, insights, less rugs. Very important in anything you do, right? If you want to be the best Pokemon player, I'm in Pokemon group chats. That's why I'm so nice at Pokemon. That's why I'm hitting these ranks that 99% of the world don't hit. Everybody in the group chat is a higher rank than me too. They've been Master Balls, like all these things. If you know anything about Pokemon card games, like, bro, I'm in a group with literally some of the best Pokemon players in the world. And it's like my brother and people that I met through him, because I don't even know these people. I'm in there, and I'm not just in that group quietly just stealing their strategies and the metas in their decks. I'm not doing that. I'm in there adding value. I'm showing them, oh, look, I created this. This is what's working for me in this meta. This Pokemon's perfect for this. I'm sharing value. And I'm not getting bit in the ass, and I'm learning at a way faster rate because I'm surrounded by people who know the game, know the metas, know the best decks, and things of that nature. That's just an analogy. Same thing, bro. It's anything you do. So community is very important, family. And you see it. It happens here. All the people that stuck around in this group, shout out Flacco, bro. He put a fire testimonial in the group randomly the other day. Unprovoked. You know, and I love stuff like that because me and Flacco interacted a handful of times. He's hopped on a lot of VCs, but like he's always hit me up, not asking for anything, literally just showing appreciation. People ask me for just random stuff all the time, and I'm here to help, cool. But Flacco, like, is the lead, literally locks in, studies, he knows what he has to do, adds value to the group. He's trenching all the time, even if he's by himself in the VC. He'll be in the VC by himself all day. Like, but that's why he's printing thousands and thousands of dollars by the day. And he's doing this with a full-time job at a restaurant. And you see, when he first started, when Rage first started, he was one of, I think, maybe first 100 people in the group. We got thousands now. But he stuck around, and he was down 1,600, and he was ready to give up. He says it here. You could read it yourself. He found us because it's not just me either. It's the group. It's a group thing. Dave is calling the most fire calls every time. Crypto Hoodie, savage with scalping. And the way he teaches is in a different tone that I can't, like, I teach a certain way. He teaches a way where people just get it, you know? So it's like, it's a group thing, but he locked in and worked on himself. And now you can see just like, bro, look at, this was a live screenshot that he put. You see $1,000, $600, $500, $500, $200. Like, bro went from negative to printing thousands a day, bro. And just look in wins, bro. Like, I would show it now, but who cares? You guys get the point. Troy just started a month ago, man. Killing it, Australia. 54-year-old big kid, he says. Just to keep it short and sweet, he started on July 1st with 1.5 Solana. Lost it. Transferred 5 more Solana. Got lucky. Turned it into 34 Solana. Lost it. And then he transferred another 5 Solana. pulled his head out of his ass, and he said he started to listen to the teachings that we teach in the group. He closed the month with over 86.1 Solana. What is that, like 15, almost 20K? And I love the way he ends it off because he says it. He's going to continue because it is hard and it is a challenge. There's the community aspect. But bro, he put 12 to 14 hours, 6 days a week. And what did he learn? Discipline more than anything. All you gotta do is apply yourself. But honestly, it's not me. It's not Hoodie. It's not like, bro, at the end of the day, he came in and he's locked in himself. Like, I didn't hand him like the obsession. I didn't hand him the work ethic. I didn't hand him the discipline. That's something only you could do for you. I can only show you the way and create a dope environment. That's what we're doing with Rage. And then you just see people are killing it, bro. This is why communities are important. It doesn't even matter, bro. You could leave, go join whatever the fuck, right? Cookers thing, potion, whatever. Right? Everybody got their sauce, but the group doesn't make or break you, bro. It's you at the end of the day. The group is more so to create that environment for you to win. And that's what's important. Lastly, guys, we're going to end it off with this. Mindset. The best way to help your mindset and to help your pattern recognition of yourself is journaling. In Rage Pro, in the course, I give you guys the journal that I like to use that's helped me find my mistakes and find my edge. You're gonna quickly realize where you are good and where you are bad when you document every single trade. If you're not tracking your trades, you are literally just gambling. Don't tell me you're down soul. Like, I don't want to hear no sob stories from anybody if you can't show me your whole journal for the past 30 days. Every single trade you took and why you took it. Reason for buying. What was the reason you sold? What was the reason you held? And what would you have done better after every single trade? For me, I told you guys this many times, when I used to journal my trades, my biggest problem, if you looked at my old journal, I'll find it. Gamble, 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 gamble. I was taking way too many gambles. I like to gamble. That was my problem. If you look at my entire edge came from that journal showing me that I only make money, or not every good trade is a good trade, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you'll make some money on trades that aren't even good trades. So what I noticed, my edge of where I make the most money, right? Because I made money on bad trades too. Where I make the most money consistently was sticking to the edge that I just showed you. Higher market cap plays with strong narratives that I completely understood in a nutshell, because it was a whole lot we just went over. But that's the idea. I've learned that because a lot of my mistakes were gambling and then also bidding stuff that I didn't understand. AI meta, I got rinsed a lot because I was getting psyched out. And I realized I was better at trading memes than utility AI type of stuff. There was just a lot of bullshit, vaporware. And I would try to hold it, and I'm used to holding good coins, and it would just dump on me later. They weren't good coins. And then I realized, okay, literally cutting that out would increase my win rate by like a lot. So it was just like, if you're not journaling, what are you doing? Trading is more so emotional control than technicals, than anything else. One emotional trade, one moment of greed can wipe out weeks of progress. And you guys know this. You might have been super disciplined for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then just that one day, it hits you. You become a greedy knucklehead. You just become an emotional top blaster or whatever. And you take out all the weeks of discipline progress that you had. It's all emotional. Literally one emotional decision could wipe out so much. So it is discipline. Think before you bid. Most people don't even think for 30 seconds before they jump into a trade. They're tracking wallets. They're not doing any due diligence. And you want to get rich with this? No, you want to get lucky. You came here to gamble. Just at least be real with yourself. Because you could bullshit yourself, but you can't bullshit us. One way to get over emotions fast, because a lot of people ask me this as well. Should I take profits? Where should I take profits? Should I take profits at 2x? If you're even asking that question, that means you went in without a plan. If you're even asking that question, you're literally just gambling. So this is what I'm going to show you. Just to start, if you're a beginner and you don't even have a plan, this is what you want to do. Always sell initials and a little bit of profit at 2x. Axiom makes this easy because you can just press the sell initials button, but forget that. Initials with a little bit of profit at 2x. Always, if not the whole thing. This takes off risk completely. And it also takes off emotions. Now you can let the play hold out without having a heart attack. Okay, and then as you build your port, the gains are all relative. Because it might feel like you're leaving money on the table, which you are. But again, when you get better at calling ceilings and reading narratives and having your own plan, this is just the best way to protect your port and keep some money. You know, you keep a moon bag, always take 2x, some profits, and a moon bag. Some days you might go for 2x and, you know, it just goes even crazier, 5, 6x. But check this out. Let's say you start with 10 SOL port and you're doing 10% of your position every time. Your port's at 10 SOL, you put a 10% position, which is 1 SOL. How many X's? Let's say you get 10x on a trade. Even if you took your initials at 2x, you still got around 5 SOL in that trade at 10x. You do that enough times, you do that 2 times over, let's say over a month, you turn your 10 SOL into 10 more SOL with that strategy. You just take it slow, only alpha, you're sitting on your hands, you're real determined, you're studying every day, you're doing due diligence, but you're just picky with your trades, you want to really make this work, right? You get 10 SOL, now you have 20 SOL. Now 10% of your position is more. Now your 10x is 10 SOL, and even a 5x, 5 SOL, whatever it is, like this shit compounds. But this way you enter here, okay, you're 2x, you sold your initials. Now you're not worried so much. Now you're not crying. Now you're not feeling like the waves of the dips. Now you're happy. Now you can let the rest just ride. And you don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about take profits, this and that. You just take profit on each pump, okay? You do that for a while until you learn how to set up your own trades how you want, until you learn these things. Now, you could look, this is an example of like a trade where I was scalping it. I was up, boom. I was up 2x. I think it was overnight. Like I fell asleep or something. And I was waiting for it to come back down because I wanted a bit more because I didn't think that was over. I thought it was going to come back down. It didn't. Whatever. It was up, I think this was like 3x. All right, I took initials and went up on another pump. I took another 20%, went up on another pump, took another 25%. And then the last pump, I was just like, I'm kind of happy with the trade, right? I was happy with my profit. Even if it went up to heaven, I was good. You guys got to remember, price is always going to happen. Price does not stop when you exit a trade. Price is going to do what price needs to do. Meaning, you can't get off a trade, be 100% happy with your trade, and you see a 10x after that, and now you're mad and emotional. You can't let that affect you. Price is going to do what price does. It's your trade, it's your portfolio. You got to manage it accordingly. Sometimes price might tank after, and then you feel good, and you're like, yeah, thank God. No, just follow your rules. Don't worry about what price does after. Just follow your rules. If you're up 2x, take your initials, especially if you didn't come in with a plan. You shouldn't be asking people, where should you take profit or whatever, this and that. Don't get me wrong. You can. Like, how far do you think that this could go? Things of that nature, just to understand narratives and in an education type of way. But in a managing your portfolio type of way, no. You need to be in charge of that because you're never gonna make it long term if you don't have an idea of narratives, if you don't have an idea on price ceilings and things of that nature. That's basically, literally, in a nutshell, step by step, everything I could think of how you find alpha and how to win long term. That's 100% my main strategy. That's what made me the most money. Don't get me wrong, I trench and I have fun, and that's cool. And we catch 5x's, 10x's, whatever. But for the most part, it's literally just scanning on Twitter all day, chilling. Like, bro, if it's just something that has potential, ape, let it play out. Don't get shaken out. Have some emotional discipline. Run it up. At the end of it all, guys, just remember, if you're not obsessed with it, if you don't enjoy it, you're never going to make money from it. You got to enjoy the craft and build on your craft first. Then you're going to be able to scan on X for the most part. That's where everything goes viral first. X is the #1 news entertainment in the world. So get obsessed with it, especially crypto Twitter, more specifically. CT. Obviously, Rage, we send a lot of alpha. Get in tune. Rage Pro, locked in. Okay, if you want to hop on VCs, coordinate, network with people. It doesn't just magically happen. We don't have like a set schedule on VCs because the market is just random. I hop on when I feel like it, when it's hot, when other people hit me up in the DMs, whatever the case is. That's how it is. Otherwise, Alpha Channel, you're going to find a lot of alpha in the group as well. Dex Screener, you're going to find a lot of alpha. Going on Pulse, always check the temperature every single day. More importantly, sit on your hands until you find alpha, narratives that you understand. Bid low for the maximum return on your investment. Make sure you can see future catalysts. Be a part of a community, family. Not join a community. There's a difference. Be a part of a community. Be somebody useful in the community. Be somebody with value. You only can be somebody with value if you're actually studying and locked in every day. Other than that, have the mindset. It's bigger than just everything technical that we went over. It's a big emotional game. The faster you get over that, the faster you stay in the money. That's everything from A to Z. I hope you guys got some value from it. It took a lot of time for me to make and really just think through it. I wanted to give you guys something that's valuable today that can help based on all the recurring questions that I see. I'm always watching and I'm always taking note of what you guys need. Anything that I missed, let me know. I will break it down, and I appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Peace.